198 nations. 9 billion plus people on the planet. And they're claiming to be something that they're not. Or they have the title to the land. They wouldn't know what a title to the land. There is no title to the land. You either got blood in the land or you don't. Title to the land. Are you crazy? Title came from that Caucasian system in which you're claiming to not be a part of. Nobody recognizes their title. Nobody recognizes their so-called would-be nobility. Nobody recognizes that. The monarchs don't even get that authority anymore. What do you think the monarchs are fighting about now? They're wondering, how did they lose their popularity? How did they lose the number? How did they lose being the people's choice? How did they lose the popular would-be vote? How did they lose it? They're trying to find it out. And we got idiots out here that's less than that, who can't even get together, get 80 to 100 people on a phone call, and you're claiming to be someone in charge. We don't have to do that. We have the paperwork. We got everybody's files. We got everybody's files from 198 nations. What do we need to be talking to you about you being in charge of anything? And for all of you that are out there wearing these would-be Indian bonnets with all of these feathers, let me help you out. No one wore that but the Lakotas. And if you're in the black skin, you are not a Lakota because you are not considered to be a red Indian. You're not on the Dawes list for a reason. You're never going to be on the Dawes list. Maybe the dumb list, but not the Dawes list, you're never going to be on. Because the Lakotas were at war. They were at war with a system, not a people. You are not a Cherokee because Cherokees don't exist on this planet. They never have, never will. The Cherokees, we feel disrespect when you come talking about a Cherokee. Are you saying Cherokee or Parakeet? Because you're repeating everything they said. And they are the unrighteous. They have no clue who we are. They have no clue where we came from. They have no clue how we came to be. And most of them that read the Holy Bible, they're reading it based upon some would-be Billy Graham's commentation, Billy Graham's interpretation of the book of laws. They reading his commentary. No offense, Graham family, but you should explain to them, your daddy had no clue what the law was really all about. Or he would have known that incest was a crime against humanity, period. Stay with me. I don't care who gets angry. It's a fact. And all of the melanated people out there, I just don't understand you. What do we have to do? Are you one of those that got dropped out of your crib on your head? You have to be. Mama, why did you drop the baby? Daddy, why did you allow the door to be slammed on the baby's head? Because they just don't get it. We're not going to follow you down. I'm not going to make those collections. I'm not going to sit you down. I'm not going to go through your would-be so-called finance and tell you that you got to pay 10 or 20%. I'm not going to take you into some would-be so-called huge, big, extravagant would-be so-called building and call it a church or a temple or a center or any of those kind of things. I'm not going to do it. Don't have time to do that. I'll leave that to TDJ. I'll leave that to the Creflo Dollar and the George Myers and the Benny Hands. I'll leave that to them. Let them do that. They do well at collecting money like that. We don't have time for that. We got people losing their lives, and we're here to save them. I came to save, not to be saved. I came to serve, not to be served. And all of those of you who think, well, he's a nobody, if he don't want anything from anybody, you keep thinking that. Because I'm going to show you what I came for. I came for your soul. Either your soul is going to be with me and my Father in heaven, I'm going to cast it in hell. Go ahead, test me. I'm waiting. Your mothers and fathers, some of them are waiting for hell. You better get to praying to them. You better go into your secret closet. Not that one that you hid out in while wanting to transgender yourself. I'm talking about the closet you should have been talking in secret to God. And that's the closet you need to go back to. Because if you think you're about to get out of this world without giving your soul, not going to happen. You can give it to Lucifer or you can bring it back to my Father. For me, that's not my call. That's on you. It's either truth or it's a lie. It's life or it's death. You're either hot or you cold. There's no in between. I'm going to take a break because I know for a fact there's a lot of you out there that still don't believe, but you will. Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that he is who he say he is, and there is no other. And every tongue that don't, I guarantee them that they're going to be tasting hell on both ends. Let us all do ourselves a favor and take a short break.
Thank you, sir. You know, we've been talking to quite a few of you about indexing. And for those of you that have been sharing the indexing process with family and friends and even strangers, thank you. However, there are those of you that have said you're going to get indexed, and yet we still see you. Where are you? We've not identified you yet. If at all possible, get your paperwork together and get it done by the end of this week. Because there's so much going on, and I can't tell you what is and what's not going to happen, when or where. All I can tell you is it's getting hotter by the day. The civil war is heating up. You've got cities collapsing into war zones. We're already in a depression, just as Yahoshua has already told us just tonight on this call. If you're going to be protected, the only protection you will have is what has been provided you through the indexing process. That is your restoration, your protection, and your redemption. Just as he spoke a moment ago, we are on the verge of a major global reset. And that ignorance is no exception to the law. So those of you that are out there saying, I never heard of a reset, now you have. There's only one reset on this planet, and if you're going to participate in it, you've got to be identified. You've got to be indexed. I'm still getting phone calls from people 10 years ago saying, well, I heard about it 10 years ago, but, I didn't really think it was anything that was really that important. And, well, now I've come back, and now I find out I got to pay for it. Well, sucks to be you. Because, yes, the period of grace has been up since August 23rd of 2022. We've gotten requests because, yes, the economy has gotten tough now. It's hard for people to come up with the $750 or $1,500 for their family. For 30 years, you knew about it and did nothing. A handful of you came and indexed. Some of you came to Texas, and it was a glorious experience for all of us. But many of you just set it on the side thinking, he's nobody. There's nothing going on there. I don't know why you're wasting your time. Time now, family, is not on your side. And if you're not indexed, you better get it done like yesterday. People are whining and complaining and wanting the fee to be reduced. It's not going to happen. There's a reason those figures are set at the numbers that they are. If you understand biblical numerics, run those numbers. I'm not going to do it for you. But get yourself indexed, again, like yesterday. If you've got to borrow it, if you've got to sell something, if you've got to save it up, I don't know how much time you have left, but get it done, because your life truly depends upon it. So if you are ready, sir, I will go ahead and get back to you. Oh, as we wait for him to come back, family, let me give you our website that has the information on it. It's S as in Sam, O, V as in Victor, CPR, like cardiopulmonary resuscitation.com. On that site is everything that you need to get yourself indexed. And I just got an announcement to family. All right. I'm announcing it tonight. Thank you, Sister Lindsay, for all your hard work. The SOBCPR.com website has now gone live. So everything you need to do can be done on that website under the link for indexing. So if you're ready now, sir, I'll go ahead and yield back to you.
I have returned.
Yes, sir.
I need you to make sure that you make it perfectly clear on this particular call for the people. Dr. Henderson, the ad hoc Universal World Court Judge, who is known as Yahoshua Mashiach, who is known as not only the son of what we know to be the Son of Man, but the Son of God. He is no indexer. I don't do indexing. I have never done indexing. I have done nothing more than registered every indexer on this planet. I registered them. I don't index them. I register them. There have been a majority of them that I've even given the fee for them to index. But I don't index people. So for the sake of you making sure that everyone on this call and every other call realize, do not call Dr. Henderson about indexing because he is not an indexer.
Yeah, don't bother him.
I get calls all the time about indexing, and I never want to make my brothers and sisters feel like I'm, disengaged or I'm trying to blow them off, but I'm not an indexer. I never was, never have been. I register everyone on the planet. I index them by registering them. That's what I do. But I don't go out and index them. I don't sign them up. Yeah. My brother indexed the whole would-be world of the finance system. He did every banking corporation. He did every bank. He did every would-be monetary system on this planet. But I didn't index it. That's why he is known as the principal. I am the elect. That's a difference. The elect one is the one I have to make the decision. I have to decide if the principals receive what they got coming or not. And I can't be a principal and be able to do that at the same time. That's not me. You would have to get with the principal, just like she is known as the sovereign principal of the would-be, if we might call it that, Eptabasibus trust. She is the sovereign principal of it, not me. I'm not the sovereign principal. I am the elect one. I am chosen to make sure that it has the power in which it was given to do nothing more than index all the people of the planet. There's another. It is called the Rhodes Trust. The Rhodes Trust is another would-be index, and it's known as a trust, Rhodes Trust, and it's under the Amnesty Would-Be Trust Act. That's for everyone who is designed for forgiveness or for crimes or whatever you did. You ran out on your boyfriend, didn't show back up, and he classified you as being a criminal at large. That's your amnesty. All you got to do is go and index yourself under the Amnesty Would-Be laws. That's all you got to do. And everyone on the planet would tell you that a lot of people meet that criteria because they've been in all types of would-be organizations. Underground organizations, behind the back organizations, you name it, cutthroat organizations, all of them, they come through in the Amnesty Would-Be so-called Trust Act, the Amnesty Index Act. That's where they come in at. And I don't get to do anything in that but register those people. I don't get to index them, I just register them. So if you might, make sure that you clear that up.
Yes, sir. If you need to index, go to our website or call me.
I'm telling you, Esther, make sure you clear that up. So they'll stop calling me saying, well, Esther told me this, and she told that ain't got a thing to do with what I do. I'm going to register. If you come through me and I register you, then you got registered. Don't worry about it. But I'm going to assure you that if you're just doing that to bypass having to index, it's not going to happen. You got to prove to the spirit of Yahweh that you're real about what you're doing. And most of you just have to face it. Everything that's been given to you free, you have done nothing but take advantage of it. You have abused it. And because of that, the world now has come to a point they're not going to allow you to abuse anything anymore. And I'm talking that's all the way to your government. Your government right now has a policy that they have already written in place. It happened during what was known as the William Jefferson Clinton administration. They signed a document to go after people that they were classifying to be non-productive. A lot of those people fell under one would-be so-called law that they call domestic. Domestic workers, domestic disturbance, domestic abusers, all of them were under that would-be so-called administration where they was trying to terminate you, eliminate you. And everybody knows for a fact, excuse me, I know you're listening, Bill and Hillary, I know you're listening. Tipper, you're listening. Al, you're listening. And at the same time, it was Al and Bill who allowed that bill to be passed or that law to be passed based upon the fact that they felt that they were getting abused by their would-be spouse. They were being abused by them. But just so it happens that the majority of the people that signed that would-be bill into law were feminine. They were females. Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Barbara Lee, Sheila Jackson Lee. I can name them all, and you should be able to remember who they were. Eleanor Noah Holmes. I can go on and on, naming those females that were there that was doing the domestic would-be moment of time where domestically they was trying to eliminate people based upon them not being what they would classify as being fit or non-productive. That had nothing to do with me. But you would think now that the American so-called population that hasn't been informed of what's going on, they would rather attack Dr. Henderson about it. It wasn't me. And a lot of you female out there now still trying to be in charge. You were the reason that that law came about. That's why they, during that time period, everybody was talking about a baby's mama. Why were they talking about baby's mama? Because they put the baby mama in a position of such where they knew she was the weak vessel of the planet, period, at that time, and they preyed on her weakness. They preyed on her, on nothing more than the sympathy that they should have been giving her. They preyed on it. They made her believe that she needed the system to survive. They even attacked a few of those men, putting them in jail based upon child support. They even attacked a few of those men, putting them in jail for abuse to the females. But at the same time, every dime, every penny that they were collecting, the government was getting more than 90% of it. And those women were only receiving 5% of it. You're talking about they were getting 100%, especially when locking those men up, incarcerating them for long years and long term. They were doing nothing more than drawing 100% off of his would-be so-called credibility based upon his birth certificate, his UCC, whatever he was claiming. They were getting 100% of it. And they were giving to the females 5% of it. That's 95% going their way, 5% going your way. You wasn't even getting 10%. You could have drawn that at least yourself. Have security. You could have gotten at least 10%, but you wasn't wise enough to do that because you just believed they had your interest at hand. Now you realize they don't. What do you want me to do? You signed on to it. I didn't sign you on to it. You got jumped in. I can't jump you out because they jumped you in. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah, you got to go back to the drawing board. You got to find out, what did you do? How did y'all go wrong? Why didn't somebody notify you at that time of the truth? It has nothing to do with me. And it's a known fact. I've just been talking to people recently about that. You go back and check the record of what they classify as, we've been talking this week, about divorce. The divorce, 95% of the time when it was implemented, signed, put into would-be so-called action, it was done by the female, not the male. Females did it. And most of them did it on a humbug date. It was that night, I guess they got slapped or they got smacked or they got cursed out, and they went down that same next morning and put in a divorce only to find themselves 3 weeks later where he's whining and dining you, and now you can't pull back your would-be so-called claim in which you've already filed. And then when you got caught sitting with him at that dinner 3 weeks later, they filed charges on you, telling you that they had already put a no would-be contest on him. He couldn't even come and contest it. And they had already put one of those things on him, a restraining order, and here you are sitting down with him. You're in violation of the restraining order which they placed on him. Listen, people, I know you just don't get it. You work on the heat of the moment, and you never think things through. I'm not attacking you. I need you to understand that what I'm doing, I be bringing you some simplistics. I'm bringing you a matter of wanting you to just dignitely sit down and commonly think things through before you take actions on it. Because now you're being held accountable, not by me, by the system in which you signed on to. Al Gore right now, he and Bill Clinton is probably kicking themselves. Because they signed on, they were the ones that implemented the domestic violence, and it went one way, only to attack the male. Then by the time hashtag Me Too and all these other situations arrived, a female only had to just make an accusation. It didn't even have to be true, and they acted upon it. Only to find out that 75% of the women, they were putting in claims that were false claims. Come to find out, the majority of them were working in whorehouses. Come to find out that 90% of them were nothing more than strippers and whores from their whole life. That's been their would-be way of educating themselves. They educate themselves in what was known as the strip halls. They didn't educate themselves at the university. They didn't educate themselves in school. They educated themselves in strip bars. And I'm not attacking people. I just need you to understand that you get what you bargained for. You get what you set out and buy. Whatever you purchase, that's what you're going to get. So don't be mad at me. Don't think I'm going to go attack someone like a Cardi B. She grew up in the strip club. I'm not about to go out there and attack Megan Thee Stallion. She grew up in the strip club. So what do you expect? What do you think you were going to get out of them? A whore broke is a broke whore. A whore that's rich is a rich whore. You still get the whore whether she be rich or poor. She don't change what she's doing, as David said, as I told a few people today. David said, I didn't stop dancing, I just changed partners. He was still a dancer, he just became a dancer for God. He stopped dancing. David was nothing more than a male stripper at one time. I'm not afraid to tell you and interpret the Bible to you for truth. I don't have time to be trying to find some melancholy way of giving it to you, some angelical way of giving it. I just give you the truth. David was a male stripper. And he stopped doing that and he started dancing for God once he was called to be the leader of a people. And that was one of the main things that I grew up in my neighborhood of ministry. At 12 years old, I was around the elder ministers. They were bringing me along. But they were explaining to me that if you take a whore off the street just because she comes in and she's clean and smelling great that Sunday, and she tells you that she done changed her life, and you baptize and you put your hands all over and you hear her hollering, ooh, 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 and you believe that she's now cleansed enough to become the mother of the church, you got to believe that's what all the girls in your church going to be under the mother of your church. They're going to be whores. But that's all she's going to be able to teach them. Nothing else. She's going to show them prayer meeting. They're going to have prayer meeting every night because every last one of them going to learn how to get on their knees. Stay with me. I'm going to keep it clean, but I need you to understand the revelations of the books in which you're reading based upon true interpretation. God almighty, people. I get on these tantrums because I get so bothered by people that just cannot accept the truth. I talked to some gentlemen just the other day telling them that. Timothy in the Bible was a drunk. That's why when you read the scriptures, it's telling you right there, he was given to strong wine. Just face it, he was an alcoholic, drunk. But he began to change himself to work for God. God almighty. That's the true interpretation of the book. I can't give it to you. I'm not Dr. James Cleveland. I'm not Franklin would-be so-called Roosevelt. I'm not going to bring it from the presidency. I'm not going to bring it from the so-called would-be house of gospel. I'm not any of them. I'm not James Cleveland. No. I'm not Dr. C.L. Franklin. I can't bring you what they bought you. Check their lives. See what they was really like. Ask their family. But don't think that I'm going to change the interpretation of the Bible to try to make it what we would claim to be innocent when it wasn't. It was what it was. Eve had an affair on Adam. She had an affair. Her and Adam was married. She slept with Lucifer. That's an affair. Either way you look at it. You can say that dirty whore, or that clean would-be freak. You call it whatever you want to. At the end of the day, she had an affair on Adam. Yes, she did. And it was so yucky until she had an affair with the devil while she was on her cycle. I'm just telling you like it is. I don't have time to tell you some angelical way of a lie in which just to try to make you feel good about what happened. It wasn't like that. Interpretation, true interpretation is what I came to do. And I don't care about any of those guys you're going to bring telling me they some so-called would-be theological teacher and all this, whatever. All that sounds good. At the end of the day, I'm willing to talk to them. I'm willing to prove to them that what I say has already been proven based upon what they got at the Vatican in what is known as the archives. They got it. They know it's there. It's a secret to half the preachers that are out there preaching because they haven't gotten to that level of understanding yet. And half of them still ain't sure about what they're doing. They don't know if they should go home and go to bed or just hang out at Sister Johnson's house and go to bed. I'm just calling it like it is. True interpretation. We don't have time. We're running out of time, people. The earth is coming to a close. You will either be part of the new beginning or you're going to be with those that will blow. You're going to burn up in hell. It's a fact. God almighty. This is the United States of America, right? This is the United States call. I say welcome to the call. I'm getting ready to shut it down, but rise and shine. Welcome to the call. It is what it is. You have to know the truth, and you have to stop playing games with yourself. You're either going to index or you're not. You're not going to index. That's fine. It's not going to be any skin, as they would say, off the Yahoshua Mashiach's back. No skin's going to be off my back. None. There'll be no help for you. I'm just giving you truth. Yes, your congressmen already know what I'm talking about. Your representatives already know what I'm talking about. You sit down with some of them, they're going to tell you, yes, we know about it. We're working on that. We're trying to deal with it. Others that you're going to sit down with, oh, I never heard of nothing of that. You're really surprising me. No, they're not surprised, because it's right there on their desk. If they sign into the United States so-called would-be government, they got the memo. They read it. They don't care. Ocasio-Cortez, she don't care. You're a Puerto Rican female who loves to mix drinks. You figure it out. Got nothing to do with me. United States of America, I'm bringing you this warning because I'm going to say to you now, you need to get with one of the nations. I'm not telling you which one to get with, but you need to get with one of the nations and you need to index yourself. If you want to claim your nationality to not be of this nation or whatever nation, you find one that you want to claim to be part of for a moment just to get indexed, and you get indexed. That's my advice to you, my recommendation to you. Or you're going to perish on this planet like a fool. Because you're not going to be able to stop World War III. It's already going on. You're not going to be able to stop the Battle of Armageddon. You're not going to be able to prolong it. You're not going to be able to somehow be able to raise your children and get them through the next college with the so-called semester. You're not going to be able to do any of that because they're coming at you fast, hard. They're telling you now that they got an eclipse coming that only comes every 54 years. You should ask yourself, why is it in the 54th year that you exist? Why? Were you there for the last 54 years to see it? No. Will you be here for the next 54 years to see it again? No. Not if you ain't in that. I assure you that. I'm just saying to you, let's get it right. Rise and shine. Why do the nations rage and the people plot a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, the rulers, they take counsel together against Yah-Allah and against his anointed one. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters that are listening to me right now, I do not have a Bible present. I do know exactly what it says. It's a part of me. It's in me. It's in me. Why? Why do the nations rage? Oh, my people, for they have given to you nothing more than children to be your would-be oppressors, and your women, they rule over you. Oh, my people, those who lead you are leading you to err, and they will destroy the way of your path. Why? Why do you take my glory and turn it to shame? Why? Oh, you, all of you sons of daughters, all you sons of men, why do you do such things? You turn my glory to shame. You love worthlessness, and you seek falsehood. Why? My Father sent me to save you. I am doing my trusted duty to save you. I'm not going to give up on you, no. I don't get a choice. I don't get an opportunity to give up on you. I've been out here now for this long. A lot of you have been hearing my voice. If I've changed, help me out. I need to know, because I do believe I've been saying the same thing to you. How many years now? Some of you, only a year. Some of y'all been hearing me 10 years. Some of you been hearing me 15. And some of you that's been listening to me now for over 50 years, you said. I've been around you for 50. Okay. So go tell someone else. Let them know. He's still here. He's still bringing us the same message. He hasn't changed. He didn't move to Hampton. He didn't move and join the 4,000 people that live in Hollywood, calling it some great place. He didn't go to Inglewood. He's not there in New York. He's not in Tinseltown. He's nowhere. He's not even on the Hudson Bay. He don't hang out with those people. But he's telling you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so it helps you, Yah. And all those would-be empresses and empresses and all those other people. I tell you, I don't know who they are. I don't know them. And I ain't going to tell my Father I don't know them. They have denied me before you. What makes them think I'm going to recognize them before my Father? Not going to happen. I'm going to tell my Father I've never seen them before in my life. He knows why I'm saying that. I don't have to prove to him that I've seen them or not. He knows why I'm going to be making my statement, and that's good enough. I looked outside my window. We got a lot of work to do. And a short time to complete it. But I can tell you what, outside my window, as dark as it is, there's a candle sitting on a little small desk. There's a little old man sitting there. He got his feet propped up, got his thumbs up. He kicked back. He smiled. And I'm okay. It lets me know I got another day coming. I'm okay with that. I say to you, man must work while he gets that light. For that light, for me, represents day, and man must work while it's still day, for when night cometh, no man can work. My work must go on. As for you, perhaps maybe you believe you've done everything that you needed to do. There's nothing else for you to do, so kick back. Get you some brownies. Get whatever little snack you like, get it. And whatever beverage that you love, indulge in it, I don't care. Okay, it's a slit malt liquor, I don't care, get it. Sit back, kick back, and relax. Then perhaps you've done all the work you need to do. There's nothing else for you. You don't need to do nothing else. Yes, you're worthy. You've earned it. Yes, and my father, he said, yes, you're totally worthy of it. So go ahead, receive it. Get you a little bit of rest, because you're going to need it. We on a journey. That feet are going to start hurting, back's going to start cracking, neck's going to be breaking. But guess what? We get through this. Get you some rest when you can. I love you. Peace and love. I got night shift. Stop it. I got night shift. Nightfall.